Hi everybody, thanks for coming along tonight. I'm sure you're really excited or just as excited as we are to learn the 7 steps to body freedom. My name's Adam, this is Tamsin.
Hi guys.
And we're really excited to present something that has taken us many years to put together, a program that helps pretty much anyone get the body they want. So that's why it says, 7 steps to body freedom, how to slim down, gain energy, and feel sexy. Hi everybody, thanks for coming along tonight. I'm sure you're really excited or just excited. So without further ado, let's have a look what we've got. So you are definitely in the right place if you are ready to lose weight and transform your body. And when I say ready, I mean there are some people who know that it's a good idea, but they're not actually ready. So it's the best thing to do if you are ready to lose weight. If you've made that decision, like I've got a client who hadn't gone to the beach for a couple of years because she wasn't ready. But she wasn't ready to go to the beach either because she was unhappy with her body, unfortunately. And then one day she came to me and said, I'm ready. And from that point, we were able to definitely help her lose weight and feel more confident. And this year, she's already gone to the beach a couple of times. So that's fantastic. You're in the right place if you want to look in the mirror and love what you see. Tamsin and I have had clients who unfortunately look in the mirror and don't like what they see, and they have a secret shame. And it's definitely heartbreaking for me when I hear clients say that they hate what they see in the mirror. How about you, Tam?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the saddest things, but something that we've been able to help our clients change.
Exactly. You maybe you want to improve your health and ramp up energy. Maybe you're just fine as yourself, but your health suffers, especially daily. Your energy spikes, goes up and down, or you're just lethargic all the time, and you really need to know what you can do about that. Maybe you feel out of control with food, and you want to feel more confident, beautiful, and relaxed. Some people, it's just they can't actually stop themselves eating sometimes. It's like, and they've got the bad food or they've got the biscuits in the cupboard, and they really want control over that. And that's what we're here for as well. Maybe you've tried diets and they haven't worked or only worked in the short term. Certain diets can help you. Maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, you really stick at it. And then once you stop, the weight comes back on. You think calorie counting is time consuming, and there must be a simpler answer. What do you think about calorie counting, Tam?
Yeah, so calorie counting calories are important, but they're only one part of the picture, and calorie counting makes look after your health and your nutrition really complicated. It's something I really don't advocate with my clients. We more look at counting nutrition and working with whole foods. So we like to get rid of the calorie counting control.
Fantastic. Yeah, I tried calorie counting for 24 hours, and that's how long I lasted, and it was just too hard. Because some foods you think mean one thing, and even like we said, a cup of coffee. How many calories in a cup of coffee? Well, there's so many different types of coffee that it was just too difficult to even answer that question. So it doesn't matter if you've tried diets or exercise, and we hope you have, but or weight loss supplements. We have something to help you. Okay, introduction. Who is Adam and Tamsin?
So we're qualified and passionate about nutrition, personal training, and hypnotherapy. We've helped multiple clients achieve the body and life they deserve, with some losing up to 30 kilos. And we've both written articles on everything from gut health to organic food to the psychology of body freedom. The most important thing is we've got complementary skills, and we're really passionate about helping you guys with your health and fitness.
Exactly. So you can see we've been around a block. We've got a whole lot of different skill sets that we're bringing to this so that we can actually help you as best we can. So here's what you'll learn by hanging around.
So you'll learn the 7 critical steps you must take to ensure you get the health and body you deserve. the answer to the most common question we get asked. So how do I get fit and healthy without calorie counting, running every day, or getting boring meals delivered? The new way to know what to eat, what to exercise to do, and what foods are your best friend. How to avoid being your worst enemy so you can finally be your best friend.
Exactly. Whoops, too far there. So, and we also want you, make sure you stay right to the end, because we're going to give you some cool stuff just for being here today. One of the things we're giving is a free 10-minute exercise plan that will transform your body. And I mean it when I say 10 minutes. That's all it takes. 10 minutes and it will transform your body. And we're also going to give you 3 things that you can do right now to change your life. So what's my story? Why am I here today? I was born in Adelaide, near the beach. And unfortunately, my parents separated before I was born. And I was given up just after I was born to my father. My mother gave me up and decided that she was happy to walk away, and she gave me up in a pub, of all things, in a wicker basket. So that was kind of fun. My early years, unfortunately, were a little bit tough because my father was unwell and he wasn't the best cook. He didn't actually know how to cook, unfortunately. So not knowing how to cook meant that I didn't actually eat the best when I was a kid. So when I was younger and my father was unwell, we had to move from Adelaide to Melbourne because I've actually got an older brother, and we came over here. But that was a bit of a difficult transition for me to move from there to here. And because still I wasn't eating well, like really my nutrition wasn't that good at all, it caused frequent bouts of anxiety, depression. I was severely underweight. I know some of you, and I can see some people are saying some stuff here now. Some of you have done the BMI test, and we all hate it, but on the BMI, I was considered severely underweight, like especially for my height, because I'm quite tall. I was very underweight. So, and I had a little bit of hope because I thought there's got to be something on this, but I had poor nutrition, and the mental health was completely linked to my nutrition, and it was very poor. So when I left home, unfortunately, I didn't know how to look after myself. I had no idea how to feed myself, no idea what to cook. My father was very much a meat and 3 veg kind of guy, but unfortunately those veggies came from a can. So my body screamed out for many, many years for the right nutrition that I didn't get. And as I said, this caused anxiety, body issues, which got worse and worse. And funnily enough, friends and people around me said, well, basically that's who you are. You know, so if that's the body you've got, that's what you've got. Or they'd go even worse and say, well, you're skinny, you should be happy. Well, you know what? I'm skinny, but very unwell, and I'm not happy. So that's not a good thing. So what I did was I stopped listening to everyone, and I started listening to my body. And one of the big things me and Tam talk about time and time again, and we teach our clients, is you need to listen to your body. Not your head, which I will talk about later, but your body. And when I started listening to my body and making some changes, little by little, kilo by kilo, and with the guiding hand of Tamsin here, I changed my body, my mind, and my life. I literally put on about 16 kilos, which was wonderful because I was told that was completely impossible. And every single one of those kilos, not one of them was fat. So I was able to do the correct thing and move on from anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff, which I thought, and if mental health experts will tell you, it's probably going to stay with you. And I did all that without antidepressants and stuff like that. I was actually getting things right on the inside. So that's my story. How about your story, Tam?
Okay, so I had the opposite problem to Adam, and as most women do, I struggled with my weight and body image, especially through my early 20s. I was particularly in a job that I didn't enjoy and in a relationship that wasn't great for me. And I was unhappy with how my body looked. I ended up putting on probably about 10 extra kilos that I didn't need. So started down the dieting path in order to get rid of that extra weight and tried a number of different diets. Most of those involved counting my calories and exercising like a crazy person. But although it might work for a couple of weeks, I could never maintain it. So I'd always fall off. And during that time, I was extremely unhappy. I felt like I couldn't leave the house because I couldn't go out and have any fun. I had to stick really rigidly to my diet while everyone else was eating whatever they wanted and having a great time. And through this process, I never actually paid any attention to what the food I was eating was doing to me or how it made my body feel. All I cared about was what calories I was putting into my body. I realized that this really wasn't working, so I couldn't maintain the dieting, and I felt crappy and I felt tired and had digestive issues. So I realized there must be some other way to do this. There must be a better answer, and I started getting myself into the world of nutrition and wellness. And I spent a lot of time reading books and really researching the different ways that I could heal my body. I completed my health coach certification through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and also completed a postgraduate in human nutrition at Deakin University. So through all that and my personal research, I was able to change the way I ate and change my diet and focus on real food and focus more on what that food was doing for my body and how that food made me feel. And by doing that, the weight just came off itself. So I've changed now my body and my life and the way I eat and my relationship with food. And I helped Adam do the same.
And I really appreciated it. Really, really appreciated it because obviously I had no idea what to do as far as food nutrition. I had no idea the links. Tam started explaining to me over the years what the links were, even the fact that depression is linked to gut health and whatever else. And initially I didn't believe her. And then when things started to change, I found it incredible. I couldn't believe what was going on. And the fact that it all changed. So it's fantastic. So let's get right to the 7 steps. Now you might look at this and go, okay, you've seen some of them, you've seen others, but what is it? The 7 steps are quite simple, but take a lot of work in some ways to actually get right. But if you go through each one of those steps and you get them right, you get everything you want. Literally you do. We are both sitting here and we have the bodies that we wanted and we're maintaining them. But basically we need to actually use these 7 steps daily and we keep what we've earned. So what we've learned is, we'll just go down these steps and explain them, but what we've learned. See, some people know about water. Now, water is one of the most important things you can put in your body. Like literally it is the most important. As they say that you can be in the desert and you can go without food for a long, long time, but you can't go without water. The body craves it. The body needs it. What it does, as far as if we're talking in a weight loss context, the water helps flush out toxins. It helps flush out fat in essence. It actually helps break it down and flush it out. It helps the mind and the brain work, and it basically helps everything. So if you don't have water, you can put on weight. You can get depression and certain things like that. You can get headaches, obviously, because you dry out and you get dehydrated. There's so many things that occur when you don't have enough water that it's it's the basic key to start with. So if you want to start something, and sometimes actually with all of my clients, because every single one of my clients I've had over the years, I've got this special scales that we put them on and I can see their water content. And not one person has ever been able to stand on that scales and had enough water in their system, not one. So it's basically an epidemic as far as people don't drink enough water. So what we get our clients to start doing, first off, is start drinking the water. Now, the funny thing about water is people actually give up after 1 day or 2 days because they have to pee a lot. Because what's happened is the body has got so used to not having enough water that it sort of purges out the excess that you're giving it until it starts to reset itself, and then it says wonderful. So that is that's the first key. But let's just say that you're drinking enough water, and then we'll go on to exercise. Now, exercise is a tricky thing because there's so many different types out there, and you're told so many different things about it. And I'm actually going to delve much deeper into exercise later on tonight. So I won't go too deep into it, but exercise is obviously the second key. You need to be exercising. You need to be moving, not just for weight loss and for weight management, but for a healthy life. Do you agree, Tam?
Yes, absolutely. So nutrition is the next key, and that is obviously, I would say, definitely the most complicated area that we have. Everyone who comes to us is completely confused with what they should and shouldn't eat, and how much they should and shouldn't eat, and what type of food they should and shouldn't eat. We get a lot of marketing bombarded at us about what's right and what's not right out there, and it's made it so overcomplicated that it's no surprise that no one knows what to do and what is right for them. So we'll go into this a little bit more later as well, but getting the nutrition and the correct nutrition for your personal body right is the next step in creating your ultimate health and your ultimate body.
So there you go. So let's just pretend that you're drinking enough water, you are exercising, you're getting the right nutrition, but the weight's still staying there. What else could be an issue, Tam?
So a big area that is often overlooked is the health of your gut. And this is probably the thing I get the most questions about when I'm doing presentations. But the health of your gut is key to making everything else work in your body. If your gut is not healthy, even if you're eating the right foods, you won't be able to assimilate those nutrients and use those nutrients. So I know a number of people come to me with digestive issues. Lots of women have bloating issues or irritable bowel or any other digestive related issues, and they all stem from the health of your gut. So we've gone over time and lost an old practice where we used to feed our gut via fermented foods. So this is something I really like to work with my clients to bring back into their everyday life, to feed that good bacteria and eliminate the specific foods that are feeding the bad bacteria. So you can recreate a healthy gut and recreate a healthy lining, so you're able to absorb all those nutrients, produce the right hormones that keep you happy, and not have the bloating and the digestive issues.
So there you go. We can't actually stress it enough. Gut health, each one of these you could actually work on, but gut health is pretty huge. Gut health is like water in that you need to get it right, because if you're doing everything right as far as, like we said, nutrition, exercise, water, and you're still having skin issues, you're still having whatever, you're still getting depression, because depression can be linked to gut health. As far as even there are studies done where people who have gluten intolerance, and it goes into the gut, obviously, when you eat the gluten, and it can actually cause depression, which was a staggering idea to me. And then I actually experienced it myself, and I just couldn't believe it. So it's a massive one. It's not one we're going to delve too much into today, but it is something that needs to be covered, and it's something that we can cover at a later date. So let's just say you got water, exercise, you've actually got the gut health, it's going great, but you're still not shifting that weight. What else could it be? The next one is breathing and posture. Funnily enough, another thing that the body craves is air. Now, we all breathe. It's quite natural. You breathe from the second you come out of the womb, and there you go. But the funny thing is, what we do is we've trained ourselves to do shallow breathing. Now, I don't know if anybody out there has had panic attacks or anxiety or anything like that, but one of the key points of a panic attack is shallow breathing, shallow breaths. And one of the key to people having a healthy mind, healthy body, is you need to actually do breathing exercises, not daily, and it can only take 1 or 2 minutes, but it's deep breathing exercises. And it's linked there with posture as well. If you have poor posture, if you think of your food and whatever else that you're about to eat, if you think about exercise, if you think about the water you need to drink, and you're doing it in a posture that says that this really sucks or I don't really want to do it, you don't want to do it. Posture can actually, or does, affect emotion. And you have to be careful or aware that. If you've ever watched a child, and if they put themselves in a bad posture, they're very unhappy, they can start to cry. They put themselves in a 1-for-1 and they start to smile. Your posture and the way you hold your body affects your emotions and can actually lead them. So it's actually something that we also teach our clients because it's fundamental to get them into a happy place. And this leads us to the mind. Now I'm going to, again, delve into part of the mind stuff today. Not a lot, because there's so many different mind tricks and whatever else that I teach my clients so that they can get to a really good, healthy place. Now, I'm going to talk about one of them this afternoon or tonight, so to speak. But you need to be in a good, healthy place, or what I like to say, in a good neutral place in your mind for this to work. Because as I just said, with the posture and the breathing, if you're thinking about, oh, I got to drink 2 bottles of water today, but if you're thinking about that in a very negative place, you're not going to do it. This is just a fact. If you're already self-sabotaging, it won't happen. So we need to actually get to a good place in the mind, and that's something we work on as well. And the last one is self-worth.
Yeah, so self-worth to me is probably the most important one here. It could, effectively go in with the mind, but we've separated it out because we often find that a lot of people feel like their self-worth and their confidence is tied to how they look. So they think that once they get that nutrition and that exercise right, and once they change their body, they're going to feel better about themselves and more confident. But really, it's actually the opposite. In order to make sure you do the exercise and make sure you eat right, you really need to work on your self-worth and your confidence first and have that in place to make sure the others happen. The others will only happen when you think that you deserve to feel a certain way, that you deserve to be healthy. So working on our clients' self-worth and doing some exercises with them is one of the first steps that we take. And
totally fundamental to actually help them get where they're going. Because one of the problems with even like uncontrollable eating as whatever else is if you eat the full packet of Tim Tams and you feel really horrible and you pick on yourself and you feel really bad about yourself, a lot of times you reach for the second bag because you're actually picking on yourself and you're not being your own friend. So that's a fundamental key that we also need to work on. So why don't diets work, and what do you do instead?
So dieting never works, and there are many studies that show that dieting doesn't work. It will work for a short period of time, yes, but inevitably if you're on a diet you will always fall off, and generally you put back the same amount of weight, if not more, when you come off the other end. So the problem that I mostly find with diets, in inverted commas, is they focus on calorie counting and not on health. So you're really just specifically focused on what energy the food has and nothing else to do with it. By doing that, you'll be missing out on the energy, on the nutrients and minerals you really need from the food, and your body will still be hungry. The second point is a big one. The dieting world kind of sets you up to fail. And this is really sad, but diets are set up to keep you on diets effectively. And there are lots of companies out there that create dieting products that are really not healthy at all and generally are full with a lot of sugar. So they keep you addicted to sugar and in a vicious loop.
Were you telling me about a bar that you saw the other day? Was it the Weight Watchers bar?
Yes.
What was the Weight Watchers bar?
So I went into the supermarket the other day and found a 100-calorie Weight Watchers bar, which are one of those little snack bars that you can have.
So you would think that would be an okay thing to eat, wouldn't it be?
Most
it says Weight Watchers.
Would, it would be an okay bar to have as their afternoon snack, I guess. But I decided to look at the ingredients, as I usually do, and realised there were 5 different kinds of sugar in that particular Weight Watchers bar.
5 different types?
Yes.
On a Weight Watchers bar. 5 different types of sugar, but it's only 100 calories, so it's fine, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So those calories are not the same as if you took a different type of bar, like a raw bar are the ones that I like. Similar amount of calories, but all the ingredients are natural. So without focusing on the actual health of the food that you're consuming and just on the calories, you can set yourself up for failure. The other point about why diets don't work is willpower. Adam, do you want to expand on this one?
Okay, willpower. It's a funny thing. Willpower, it's basically, it's finite, as in you only have a certain amount of it. And once you use it all up, you pretty much don't have any left for a little while. It's like being able to lift a heavy bag. So they've actually done studies, and they did this study where they had two groups of people. One group of people were sitting in a room and they just had to use their willpower not to eat some donuts. That was it. Half an hour not to eat some donuts. And the people in the other room, all they had to do was sit there and chat and hang out. Now, in both rooms, the people were of similar IQ. So they were as smart as each other, and it was all good. And remember, this was only half an hour. So at the end of that half an hour, both groups did an IQ test. And what was staggering, and this was actually repeated, this test, is that the people who had to use willpower not to eat a donut for half an hour did worse on the test. They literally became, for want of a better word, dumber. They used their brain power to not eat the donut, and that meant that they couldn't do anything else. So if we try to rely on our willpower to stop doing certain things, there's only so much. And so if you go, I'm not going to eat this cookie, and that's if your house is set up and you've got food everywhere that you don't eat, you're probably not going to eat the first cookie or the second cookie, but the third cookie's going to get you. It is, because you don't have enough willpower. And so that's why we need to teach and train different strategies that don't rely on willpower, because there's just not enough of it.
Correct. So the other reason that diets don't work is they don't focus on the individual. So we like to work on the basis of bio-individuality. So you're all different and we are different. Me and Adam don't eat the same food, and we wouldn't be able to survive on the same food. We have completely different body types. Adam is lucky enough to have a super fast metabolism, which I hate him for, but it would just never work for us to eat exactly the same food. So if we tried to follow a rigid diet together, one of us, most likely both of us, would not be able to make it.
No.
So diets are generally set up, they work for the person that created them, and that's good for them. So they'll work for some people, but they definitely will not work for everyone. So there is no one way to eat that will make everyone happy. So when we work with our clients, we work to find the way that's best for them. We focus and do a lot of different techniques on helping them uncover the best food that's meant for them, depending on their life stage, their background, their sex, everything like that.
What you do in your day. So as Tamsin said, we eat different because I need more energy dense foods, because I do a lot more physical work than she does. And so I will burn off the energy dense food I use. But if Tam had those sort of foods, that she would have a surplus of energy in her system that she's not using,
yeah,
which can be converted.
And the other reason diets don't work is they make you miserable. So if anyone here has been on a diet and they know that when restricted, they're not having any fun, it's completely boring, and you just can't live your everyday life. And what we want to set you up to do is be able to eat a certain way for the rest of your life. It be flexible, not restrictive, so you can still have fun and maintain normal everyday activities.
Fantastic. So don't count calories, count nutrition.
So what we want you to do instead of dieting and counting calories is focusing on whole foods. We want you to get back to basics and back to natural food. So I like to say we're trying to eat like our great-grandparents used to eat. This takes out a lot of stuff in the supermarket, most of the stuff in the middle aisles, and you try and stick to the outside aisles or maybe at the farmer's market. But basically what you're trying to do now is, instead of focusing on calories, is focusing on the vitamins and minerals. How healthy are the particular foods that you're eating, and how much and how many vitamins and minerals can you possibly get in yourself in one day? Because what that you'll then find, you're eating way more fruit and vegetables, some animal products, some sea vegetables, nuts and seeds, good healthy fats, and you'll be able to regulate your body. So once we start focusing on counting nutrition instead of counting calories, weight loss is actually the side effect. Once you get yourself healthy and on the right foods, you will naturally lose weight, and it's not going to be the challenge that it has been.
Excellent.
You'll also increase your energy and start to feel amazing. So the best side effect for me with this is steady energy throughout the day. I no longer have a dip at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can maintain my work throughout the whole day.
Fantastic. So now I'm going to just dip right into exercise. As I said, it's one of the key things to do, but which one should you do? Now, traditional exercise, especially for weight management, is lots of cardio and lots of treadmills. And there's a massive focus on burning calories in, calories out. But they miss one of the key points. And what about muscle? Because what a lot of people don't realize is for each kilo of muscle you have, you're burning up to 2,000 or 3,000 calories a week. So if you put on 3 extra kilos of muscle, which is denser, then you're going to burn up to 10,000 more calories a week. I just need that to sink in. 10,000 more calories a week just on 3 kilos of muscle. And the other thing is, if you're on a treadmill all the time, you're actually going to start losing muscle mass because it starts to wear it away. So you've got to be really careful that you're doing exercise that does not take away your muscle, because you really need it. So then you ask the question, what's the ideal exercise for weight management? Because the body adapts. Now, when you go for a run or do anything like on the treadmill or anything like that, the body will adapt. And what that'll mean is next time you do it, it will use less energy to complete what you've just done. So if you ran 2Ks on the treadmill yesterday and then you run 2Ks today, you will burn less energy, because the body has adapted to it, got used to it, and says, okay, I can do this with less. So you really need a exercise where it's getting around the fact that the body adapts and it's burning those calories. So what is that? Interval training is the answer. Now, if you Google it, there's a lot of different things that come under interval training, but you can actually do it quite simply. And what we're going to do later on is I'll tell you about that. But interval training is efficient. You can do it in 10 minutes a day. You do not need to do an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. 10 minutes is enough. It burns more fat, as I said, because the body can't adapt to it. Interval training gets around that. Gives you a healthier heart, doesn't require any equipment, so you can do it in your bedroom. You don't actually need to go out, because we've got clients who don't want to go to gyms. They don't want to go out. They're not ready yet to exercise in public, so you can actually do it at home. It helps you lose weight, but not muscle. You do the correct type of interval training, you can actually build a little bit of muscle, not too much, just a little bit, but it'll definitely help you lose weight. And I've had clients lose 30 plus kilos just doing interval training daily. It increases your metabolism. Everybody wants faster metabolism, which means you can eat more of whatever you want as long as it's healthy. You can do it anywhere, and it's challenging because a lot of people, things like the treadmill and whatever else is quite boring. So what they want is something a bit challenging, a bit different. So it's fantastic. So that's the exercise that is the perfect thing to do. So if you want anything out of today, that's sort of what we're talking about. Interval training is the key. But we're going to tell you some other things anyway, but this is one of the keys to the right thing, and you can do it in 10 minutes a day.
And we'll be sending you a cheat sheet for that at the end of the webinar.
So another thing that we're going to dive into, as I said, there's so many different things that goes on with the mind, but one of the big deals about the mind is the things that you do by habit. Now, people try to diet and they try to restrict eating the bad things, especially when they're emotional or they're tired or whatever else. And they don't realize that a lot of the times what they're eating or when they're eating is about trigger points and bad habits. What happens with a trigger point, I'll just briefly explain to you, is that, like, sometimes I've had clients and the second they walk into the door, they walk into their house, they feel hungry. But what they're actually not doing is not feeling hungry. It's a trigger. They walk in the house, it's a trigger that I'm going to eat something. And so they walk in their house, they eat it, and they go. What they've had is that first thing, that trigger tells their brain to go into an automatic mode. And which habit? And the habit is, I'm going to eat something. The routine is physical, mental, or emotional, because sometimes people have habits that are not a physical thing, like eating. It might be I see a certain picture, or I see my husband has left a towel on the ground, and that triggers a habit that I'm going to get really mad and want to throw it at him. And then you get the final bit is the reward. Now, if you do throw it and you hit him in the head, you get a reward. You see your husband go, ow. But if it's the food, you know, especially if it's high sugar, you get that sugar rush and you're getting a reward out of it. And so over time, this loop, cue, routine, reward becomes more and more automatic until you don't even realize it's happening. And what we do is we help clients realize where these cues are and where these trigger points are so that they can actually wipe them out. We don't give you our strategies to fight them. We give you strategies to eliminate them. And there's a really big difference, because if you try to fight a habit, it's really draining. And what are you using? You're using your willpower. And obviously there's not enough of that, so then you just give up. So unless you, as I said, deliberately fight a habit, you need to find new routines, because fighting doesn't work.
So we want you to please remember, this is not just a theory. This stuff is exactly what we use with all of our clients. It's exactly what you need if you want to create a body you love and regain your health, even if you've tried everything. We use these steps to transform our health and change our life.
So what's this all about? This is quite literally about creating freedom from your daily battle. And if it's a daily battle, you just want to stop doing certain things. You want the body that you deserve, and you want to feel happy in your own skin. So it's about having so much energy, what to do with it. It's about getting rid of what's holding you back and creating real happiness and a life that is fun.
So we're not sure why you showed up today, and I know there's a slight delay on this, so if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat box now. Otherwise, I'll also pop our email address in there, but I'll keep going in case there's any questions show up. So I'm not sure why you showed up, but it might be because you're fed up with not being happy with the way you look. It may be because you want to start looking after yourself, but you're not sure how. Or perhaps you're sick of those negative thought patterns and you want to know how to change it for good. Or maybe you're sick of spending so much time and energy trying to be on a diet. Or you want to be more confident, feel more beautiful and sexy.
Doesn't everyone?
Absolutely.
I think I do, and I would hate to be on a diet. It's one of the worst things in the world to deny yourself like that. So what we hope you really get is basically that we have found the secret to ultimate health and body freedom. And I kid you not, we're not just saying it, we've actually seen it time and time and time again with clients, and we know it works. You can't, if you help a client over a year and you see them lose 30 kilos and at the end of the year they've still got more energy and they're happier than they've ever been, that's something that works. It's one thing to help a client in 1 month to lose weight and then they fall over. It's another thing that they're still going 12, 18 months later and they look fabulous and feel fabulous. This is something that you can do. We know you can do it. We've seen people from all walks of life do it. We know you can do it too. And it's a holistic process to the healthiest you. And we also know that you can do it in a relatively short period of time to really change your life. Some things happen quite quickly. You start getting the water right and cutting out the incorrect sugars, you can have a turnaround in your body in 24 hours. We've seen people come off sugar addiction in 24 to 48 hours and start to change and lose kilos in a week. It's quite amazing. I mean, everybody's different, but we've seen it and we've seen it and we've seen it over again. So the obvious question is, how do you apply all these great changes you have into your life? Well, you have a choice. You can do it slow using trial and error and some of what we taught you here today, because we've taught you some really positive stuff, but that's doing it the slower way. Or you can do it quickly using our full 7-step process, because obviously we've got so much stuff that we want to share with people and have been sharing with people. And so there's 2 ways to do it. Because we think everything in life should be as simple as possible, just not simpler, as Albert Einstein said. And even this quote is a little bit interesting, but Albert Einstein was a pretty smart fella, so we're going to listen.
So we want you to remember what we said tonight. We've got a 7-step process that you can take and try to implement in your own life. We've taught you some really important things to focus on whole foods, focus on interval training to get your quick results, fast results with the least amount of time and maximum calorie burn. And we've taught you about trigger points, so you can start to look at the areas of your life that are triggering your bad habits. But what we have done is, previously we both had separate businesses and we're helping clients individually. And we realized that we were going to each other for help on the areas that we weren't the expert in. So what we decided to do was to come together and create a program where you get both of us for the whole time. So we've designed our 7-week Body Freedom Accelerator program, which is designed to give you the whole solution, everything you need to transform your body and health, to give you all the information and the steps to regain your confidence and love what you see in the mirror, to give you the personal attention from both a personal trainer and a nutritionist. And we're both coaches all in one program. It's absolutely the fastest way to get you from tired, unhappy, and overwhelmed to slim, bouncing with energy, and super healthy.
So basically, we think it helps you feel the best you've ever felt. And that's really important to us, and we know it's really important to you to get there. And we know that you really, I'm laughing because there's a slide that's coming up of a woman who can lift something that weighs just more than me, I think. And you'll see it in a second, but she is quite strong. But we know that most of you actually don't want to do this or look like this. And let me say this while the slide's coming up. A lot of women get afraid because especially when I worked in a gym and I said, okay, we need to go and work on some free weights. And they said, but I don't want to get big. Trust me on this. No woman can get big, and I mean big, without pharmaceuticals, okay? You would need to employ the entire Essendon Football Club nutrition team to get you big. It's not actually physically possible for a woman to get big, okay? So all you're going to do is put on some lean muscle, and what we said before, that lean muscle is going to help you lose weight, maintain that weight loss. So now you can see that slide and feel the best you felt, okay? So, what is our program?
So our program is 7 weeks with our 7 steps to completely change your health. So during this, you'll completely understand how each of the steps is creating health and weight loss in your life. You'll get one-on-one coaching over Skype or phone, and you'll have unlimited email support to both of us. You'll get all the information and exercises provided each week via email as we work through the 7 steps and how they fit into your life. You're also going to get heaps of bonus material, so meal plans, exercise plans, super quick recipes. We've even got some great ideas for the kids' lunches, so you can help get the whole family healthy. The biggest benefit of this program is having unlimited access to both a personal trainer and a nutritionist, meaning everything is covered in one program and we don't leave anything out.
So how much will this cost me? Mm-hmm. Big question. Everyone wants to know the answer. So usually our programs can sell for up to $3,000. To get one of us on a one-on-one can cost up to $150 an hour. So, and sometimes that takes up to 6 months or 12 months to share all the information that we got with you. And this program cost us over $40,000 and thousands of hours to learn. And I kid you not, especially with Tam and her post going to university to learn certain things, I had to do full year personal training plus additional what I had to do. And then we had to trial and error with clients. Lots of time, lots of money. So you could separately pay for a personal trainer, and then you could separately pay for a gym membership, and then you could go to a nutritionist, and they cost a lot of money as well. But you don't need any of that with this program because we brought it all together. And as we said before, we've helped some clients lose over 30 kilos. We're not just a 5 kilo club. we've actually helped clients lose the 30 kilos plus and still look absolutely fabulous. So this program will cost you a tiny fraction of those figures because we really, really want to help you make 2015 your year. It's time. It's time.
We know that Christmas and New Year's is coming up, and if it's on your New Year's resolution to get healthy, then we really want to make this accessible for you.
So you can get your pass today for our 7-week Body Freedom Accelerator for $897. Or you can do 4 payments of only $250. Some people like to do it via payment, which we've made easy for people. And you immediately get your Kickstart pack, including our pre-course content and questionnaire. Because some people obviously are raring to go. They were like, I've had enough. And, you know, it's like summer just started a couple of days ago and we've already had how many hot days? How many times we've had to go to the beach. So it's a fabulous time. And we know that you really want to get started straight away. So you can actually start on that payment plan. Or some people are quite smart and they know I want to save money and pay up front.
So to sum up, if you really want to slim down, transform your health, regain your confidence, and be excited about going shopping without doing crazy dieting, calorie counting, or spending hours on the treadmill, this is the best system. So it's exactly what we needed when we started our health journey, and it helped us both get from separate issues to a same healthy place. It would have saved us hours of dieting heartache and years of being unhappy. You'll get all our information delivered to you by each week personally, and you get one-on-one coaching and full email support so you can really transition this all and make it work in your everyday life.
And you can secure your place now, and I'm actually meaning now, for the $897 or 4 payments of $250, depending on how you want to do it. But there are only limited places because we actually work one-on-one with people, and we can only work with a certain number of clients. So to ensure everyone gets our full attention, we limit the number of enrollments.
All right, so because we do limit the number of enrollments, we've got an application form on our slides right now. So you can go to that link. I'll also put it in the chat box and just put in an answer to a couple of questions and we'll give you a call and get you ready for our program. So we really want to make this your year. It's an amazing program to have both different skills available to you all the time for 7 weeks to help you get fully healthy and happy.
So we hope that you've learned a lot tonight, and we've spent some good time and we've enjoyed speaking to you. So if you've got any questions, or basically you can just fill out that application form and ask any question you like as well, because we will give you a call. So just fill it out. But as we said, there's only a limited number of places, so we can only take so many people. But she's put it in the chat box that's coming up. So have a look at that. And we've had a great time. Yep. And again, if you need to want to contact us via email to ask us any more questions, we're more than happy to talk to you. So our email is info@bodyfreedom.me. So yeah, so I guess that's about it. We'll wrap up there, and please feel free to email if you've got any further questions or fill out our application form. Perfect. And I'll just leave this link up for a minute or two for people who want to write it down, but we have put it in the chat box. Thanks for being here tonight, and we'll talk to you again soon. See you later.